Do you feel confident you know how to manage your diabetes management because you've lived with it for years? Well, you likely don't know what you're going to learn in this video, as this information is harder to come by. As our bodies age, the rules of diabetes management change in ways most people never hear about from their primary care providers. This isn't your typical advice about avoiding sugar or checking your feet. We are going beyond the basics that you have heard 1,000 times. Today, we are discussing 6 crucial daily habits specifically for seniors managing diabetes that can fundamentally alter how you control your blood sugar and protect your long-term health. These are advanced strategies that address the unique physiological changes that come with aging. In the United States and elsewhere, many seniors struggle with fluctuating glucose levels despite their best efforts because they aren't using age-specific tactics. We are going to fix that today by giving you a new playbook for diabetes control in your golden years. 1-to-1 Mastering Chronutrition. This first habit is about synchronizing your meals with your body's internal clock, a practice known as chrononutrition. This isn't just about what you eat, it's about when you eat to optimize your metabolic response. For seniors, this is especially critical because the body's circadian rhythm, which is the 24-hour cycle that regulates sleep-wake patterns, hormone release, and metabolism, can weaken or shift with age. This means your body's ability to handle glucose changes throughout the day. For instance, insulin sensitivity is generally highest in the morning and lowest at night. When you eat a large carbohydrate-heavy meal late in the evening, you're essentially asking your body to process sugar at the very moment it's least equipped to do so. This leads to elevated overnight and fasting blood glucose levels. The consequence of ignoring your body's clock is a constant uphill battle with your blood sugar. It can feel like you're doing everything right with your diet, yet your A1C remains stubbornly high. This misalignment can also disrupt sleep quality, creating a vicious cycle where poor sleep further worsens insulin resistance. Research shows that individuals who consume more of their calories earlier in the day often exhibit better glycemic control and even weight loss compared to those who eat their largest meals in the evening. To implement this habit, start by making breakfast and lunch your main meals and dinner smaller and lower in carbohydrates. Aim to consume the majority of your daily calories before 3 p.m. A practical first step is to shift your largest meal of the day to lunchtime. If you're used to a large dinner, start by gradually reducing its size while increasing the size of your breakfast or lunch. Discuss this meal timing strategy with your healthcare provider, as it may require adjustments to your medication schedule, particularly for insulin or sulfonylureas to prevent hypoglycemia. 2. The second meal effect: breakfast. This next habit focuses on a specific phenomenon called the second meal effect. Simply put, what you eat for breakfast has a profound impact on your blood sugar response, not just after breakfast, but also after lunch. This effect is a cornerstone of advanced glucose management for seniors. The science behind this involves the type of carbohydrates you consume at your first meal. When you eat a breakfast rich in low glycemic, slowly digested carbohydrates, such as those found in barley or lentils, it triggers a cascade of metabolic benefits that last for hours. These slow-release carbs lead to a lower and more stable blood glucose rise after breakfast. This in turn reduces the demand for insulin and leads to the release of certain gut hormones like GLP-1, which is glucagon-like peptide 1. These hormones help enhance insulin secretion and sensitivity. This hormonal benefit carries over to your next meal. So, when you eat lunch, your body is primed to handle the incoming glucose much more efficiently, resulting in a significantly lower blood sugar spike than you would have otherwise had. A 2014 study published in the journal Diabetes Care demonstrated that participants who ate a low glycemic index breakfast experienced a 50% lower blood sugar spike after lunch compared to those who ate a high glycemic index breakfast. Does this feel familiar? You've eaten healthy all day, but your evening blood sugar is still high. Let's break down why. Ignoring the second meal effect means you start the day on the back foot metabolically. A breakfast of refined cereal or white toast can set you up for a blood sugar roller coaster for the entire day. For a senior, this volatility is not just a number on a meter, it contributes to fatigue, brain fog, and an increased risk of complications. The solution is to strategically design your breakfast. The goal is to choose carbohydrates that are digested very slowly. Think steel-cut oats instead of instant oatmeal, or a slice of pumpernickel bread instead of white bread. Even better, incorporate foods like cooked lentils or chickpeas into your morning routine. It may sound unusual, but a small portion of these legumes with your eggs can set you up for success all day. Try replacing your usual breakfast cereal with a bowl of cooked barley topped with a few nuts and seeds. Monitor your blood glucose after breakfast, and then again after lunch to see the difference for yourself. Sharing this data with your doctor can provide powerful insights into your personal metabolism. 3. Targeting postprandial glucose delta. This habit requires a shift in how you think about your blood sugar numbers. Instead of only focusing on the absolute number after a meal like 180 milligrams per deciliter, we are going to focus on the postprandial glucose, delta. The delta is simply the change in glucose from before you ate to after you ate. For example, if your blood sugar was 110 before a meal and it peaked at 172 hours later, your delta is 60. This number is arguably more important than the peak number itself, especially for older adults. The reason the delta is so crucial is that it reflects how much of a spike a particular meal caused. A large, rapid spike in blood sugar, even if it doesn't exceed the official ceiling of 180, causes significant oxidative stress and inflammation. This process involves the generation of harmful molecules called free radicals, which damage blood vessels and nerves over time. For seniors whose vascular systems may already be compromised, this inflammatory surge is particularly dangerous. It's the roller coaster ride of glucose, not just the altitude, that causes much of the long-term damage. Research from the International Diabetes Federation suggests that minimizing large glycemic excursions, or spikes, can be as important as lowering A1C for preventing cardiovascular complications. Understanding the glycemic index is key, but this next tip on food sequencing is what makes the biggest immediate difference. The consequence of ignoring your glucose delta is a false sense of security. Your A1C, which is a 3-month average, might look acceptable, but if that average is the result of wild swings between high and low blood sugar, you are still accumulating damage. This hidden volatility contributes to neuropathy, retinopathy, and kidney disease. To manage your delta, start by checking your blood sugar immediately before you eat, and then again 1 to 2 hours after your first bite. Calculate the difference. Aim to keep this delta below 50 or 60 points. To achieve this, the solution is food sequencing. Before you eat your carbohydrates, consume protein, fiber, and fats first. For example, eat your salad or grilled chicken before you eat your bread or potatoes. This simple act slows down stomach emptying and dramatically blunts the subsequent glucose spike, lowering your delta. If you just had a light bulb moment from that tip tapping, the like button is a free way to support the channel. 4. Eccentric exercise for insulin resistance. When we talk about exercise for diabetes, it's often a generic recommendation to just be more active. This habit is far more specific and effective, incorporating eccentric exercise. Eccentric muscle contraction happens when a muscle lengthens under tension, like when you slowly lower a dumbbell or walk downhill. This is the opposite of a concentric contraction, where the muscle shortens like when lifting a weight. The reason this specific type of exercise is a powerhouse for seniors with diabetes is twofold. First, it's exceptionally effective at improving insulin sensitivity. Studies show that eccentric exercise can stimulate glucose uptake by the muscles through pathways that are less dependent on insulin, making it highly effective even in a state of insulin resistance. It also causes greater muscle microdamage, which sounds bad, but the repair process actually enhances glucose storage capacity in the muscles for days after the workout. Second, it's safer and more accessible. Eccentric movements are less metabolically demanding and put less strain on the cardiovascular system than concentric movements, making them ideal for older adults or those with physical limitations. You can build significant strength with less risk of injury or overexertion. I know there's a lot of debate online about metformin. We're going to cut through the noise and look at the clinical studies. Neglecting this form of exercise means missing out on a powerful tool to directly combat insulin resistance, the root cause of type 2 diabetes. Relying solely on gentle activities like walking is good, but it won't provide the same deep metabolic reset that eccentric training can. The consequence is slower progress in blood sugar control and less improvement in muscle mass, which is vital for seniors, as muscle is a primary site for glucose disposal. You can incorporate eccentric exercise easily. When using weights or resistance bands, focus on the lowering phase. For example, if you're doing a bicep curl, lift the weight up in 1 second, and then take 3 to 4 seconds to slowly lower it back down. Bodyweight exercises are perfect for this too. For a squat, lower yourself down very slowly and then come up at a normal pace. Even simple daily activities can be modified. When sitting down in a chair, do it slowly, controlling the movement instead of just dropping into the seat. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes a day and discuss with a physical therapist how to safely incorporate these movements, especially if you have joint issues or balance concerns. Daily mindfulness for cortisol regulation. This habit ventures into the powerful connection between your mind and your metabolism. We will focus on a daily mindfulness practice to regulate cortisol. Cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone. In short bursts, it's helpful, but chronic stress, which is common in modern life and often amplified when managing a chronic illness, leads to persistently high cortisol levels. This is where the problem for diabetes management begins. Cortisol directly works against insulin. It signals the liver to release stored glucose through a process called glycogenolysis, and also initiates gluconeogenesis, the creation of new glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. Essentially, high cortisol tells your body to dump more sugar into the bloodstream while simultaneously making your cells more resistant to the insulin trying to clear it away. This creates a perfect storm for high blood sugar. For a senior, this hormonal battle can make blood sugar feel unpredictably high for no apparent dietary reason. It can be the reason your fasting numbers are elevated even when you ate a perfect dinner. You've probably heard you should switch to whole wheat bread. For many, this is a mistake. I'll explain the science right after this. Ignoring the impact of cortisol is like trying to put out a fire while someone is continuously adding fuel. You can have a perfect diet and medication regimen, but if your stress levels are unmanaged, your cortisol levels will actively sabotage your efforts. This can lead to immense frustration and burnout from feeling like your efforts aren't paying off. It also contributes to weight gain, particularly abdominal fat, which further worsens insulin resistance. The solution is to implement a daily mindfulness or meditation practice. This doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as spending 10 minutes each morning sitting quietly and focusing on your breath. There are numerous free guided meditation apps and online videos that can help you start. The goal is to activate the body's relaxation response, which is governed by the parasympathetic nervous system. This acts as a direct antidote to the stress response, lowering cortisol levels, heart rate, and blood pressure. Studies on mindfulness-based stress reduction have shown significant improvements in A1C levels among people with type 2 diabetes. Start small. Commit to just 5 minutes a day for 1 week. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and pay attention to the sensation of your breath entering and leaving your body. When your mind wanders, which it will gently guide it back to your breath without judgment. Consistency is more important than duration. 6. Strategic hydration for kidney health. Our final habit goes beyond the simple advice to drink more water. We're focusing on strategic hydration, a nuanced approach to fluid intake that directly supports kidney function and blood sugar control in seniors. As we age, our sense of thirst diminishes, meaning we can become dehydrated without even realizing it. Dehydration has a direct and immediate impact on blood glucose. When you're dehydrated, the volume of blood in your body decreases, making the glucose in your bloodstream more concentrated. This results in a higher blood sugar reading. Furthermore, the kidneys play a vital role in filtering waste and excess glucose from the blood. To do this efficiently, they require ample water. Chronic dehydration puts a significant strain on the kidneys, forcing them to work harder. For a person with diabetes whose kidneys may already be under stress from filtering excess sugar, this additional burden can accelerate the progression towards chronic kidney disease, a common and serious complication. In fact, about 1 in 3 adults with diabetes has kidney disease. The consequence of poor hydration strategy is not just temporarily higher blood sugar readings. It's a progressive strain on one of your body's most critical organ systems. This can lead to a dangerous cycle where high blood sugar damages the kidneys and declining kidney function makes it harder to control blood sugar. Symptoms of mild dehydration like fatigue and headaches can also be mistaken for other issues, leading to the root cause being ignored. The solution is to be proactive and strategic with your fluid intake. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. Keep a water bottle with you at all times and sip throughout the day. A great tactic is to tie your hydration to your daily schedule. Drink a full glass of water upon waking before each meal and before you go to bed. This ensures a consistent intake. Pay attention to the color of your urine. It should be a pale straw color. If it's dark yellow, you need to drink more. However, be mindful not to overdo it, especially if you have been diagnosed with heart failure or kidney failure and have a fluid restriction. It is crucial to discuss your ideal daily fluid intake with your doctor. They can give you a personalized target based on your specific health status and kidney function. If you enjoyed this video, you will probably also like this one. Please subscribe to this channel and let us know in the comments your thoughts. Thanks for watching.